So Elon Musk had a meeting with the SpaceX employees and kind of showcased a bunch of renders on things they want to be doing in the future. And near the end of this slide deck, which Elon tweeted out for all of us, thank you very much, there were renders of the future of Starship factories, both at Starbase and at Cape Canaveral. And specifically at the Starbase rendering, they showcased this updated Cybertruck, which has a lot of changes, and I think it's easy to probably deduct that this is confirmed or this is for real happening. But I want to get more into the deeper meaning behind why they showcased this, and likely why Elon was comfortable tweeting it out and showing everybody what it looked like. But as far as the actual changes go, it was pretty cool to see a dual rear wheel version of the Cybertruck, basically with a much wider wheelbase on the back, allowing for better stability, better towing capabilities, as well as an attachment in front of the front, lighting adjustments to the top, and a work rack assembled on top of the vault. This was briefly shown at the Cybertruck unveiling event. I'm pretty sure it's not a real thing. We've only seen renders of it so far, but I wish this would be talked about more whenever people tell me that the Cybertruck can't be a work truck, simply because it looks weird and because it looks different from other trucks and because it has these sails over the bed, and that means that you can't easily reach over and grab tools from the inside. Therefore, it's a joke. Therefore, it's dead on arrival and no one's ever going to use this for work. You have to think a little bit further than just your traditional mindset of how you use your pickup truck for work, because since the Cybertruck takes this post-apocalyptic design approach, modifying it and customizing it to your liking, I think may actually be easier than most other trucks, because even if you cut off parts of the exoskeleton or weld on new portions of the truck, it all kind of just goes with the aesthetic, because unlike other trucks on the market, there's no paint. There's no need to match the body color with the optional accessories that you may add on to this thing. And there's clearly tons of demand and already several startup companies taking reservations, which I don't recommend doing, by the way. These companies are unproven, but whether or not I like them, they are proving that there's a lot of demand and a lot of interest in people making accessories for the Cybertruck so that you can access your tools more easily. You can attach things to the roof of the Cybertruck, and as SpaceX is now showcasing in the renders, you could have modified versions of the Cybertruck that are designed for carrying heavier loads, wider trailers, or super heavy payloads, which I'm sure the SpaceX engineers use a lot of at the Starbase facilities when they're moving equipment around. While many people are just convinced that the Cybertruck is just going to be this Tesla fanboy machine and the only people buying it are people that don't buy trucks, I think that the accessories, the modifications, and the overall potential of this Cybertruck platform is going to make it the perfect work vehicle, considering it'll have likely the fastest charging speed of any other electric truck. It's going to have an insane amount of torque. It's going to have durability unlike any other of these trucks. You know, it's great that the F-150 Lightning is out, and I'm sure many Cybertruck reservation holders are jealous of all the Rivian and Lightning deliveries going on right now, but you take that thing to the construction site, you're denting up the sides, you're scratching the paint, and when you're driving around construction equipment or backing up into things, you're probably gonna dent and damage your overall body of that truck within a couple of years. It's just not going to look very good, whereas the Cybertruck kind of embraces that brutal utility aspect, and when things get scratched or when it backs into things, it's not really going to showcase those as a sign of weakness. It kind of just embraces that Mad Max aesthetic, and that's what I think Elon was more comfortable with when he shared this rendering that obviously some SpaceX employee likely came up with, but it showcases that they don't see the Cybertruck as this one-size-fits-all, like everybody's just gonna have to live with the current specs. No, you'll be able to adjust it or modify it to your liking so that it fits your use case in the best way possible. For a while, people were asking if Tesla would offer like multiple different wrapping or color options with the Cybertruck, but Elon kind of doubled down on that later and said that, well, it'll be very easy to wrap, so Tesla's mindset is they just kind of make the one color, which is that Starship steel, and then you can go wrap it whatever color you want it to be. That makes it much easier for Tesla to ramp the vehicle and build lots of them when they just kind of pass that customization off to the consumer. Some of you may not like that, but personally, I think it's a great thing that we have so many different approaches to the electric pickup truck space, because there's clearly a ton of demand for all kinds of electric trucks, and it's great that we have a variety of different approaches. You know, you have Rivian kind of trying to mesh this futuristic feel with nature and adventure while still kind of accommodating for a traditional pickup truck design, and with Ford, you have them trying to kind of bridge the gap between a gas truck and electric truck as simply as possible, so you make it very easy for traditional gas truck owners to buy an electric version, because there's very few changes changes, and the F-150 sells great, so I'm sure the F-150 Lightning will continue to sell great with all of the gas-saving advantages. And with the Cybertruck, you have Tesla leaning in the opposite direction of, let's try to make an electric truck so drastically different from any other truck that there's a bunch of people that can find and discover all these unique advantages and have something that stands out. Some customers out there don't want something that blends in with the crowd. They don't want a boring traditional exterior. They want something drastically different that comes with drastically better advantages. And that, in this case, is going to be, you know, that Tesla armored glass, that rigid exoskeleton that's going to age so well and not dent or scratch as easily as any of these other trucks. It's good to have a variety of options so that everyone feels like there's something that they can go with, and I don't think Tesla's approach is for everyone to drive the exact same truck. It's just that they're providing this baseline. They're providing this platform, and SpaceX engineers, construction workers, or residential weekend warriors can kind of tinker the Cybertruck with the accessories and the modifications they need to fit their lifestyle best. That's how I interpreted this rendering. I don't think it confirms that Giga Texas is going to make all of these changes, and we're actually going to get, you know, an exoskeleton with these dual rear wheel cutouts specifically for that option. Maybe in the future they'll offer it if that's what's preventing more people from buying the Cybertruck, but it's just important to remember this is ultimately a SpaceX engineer that is developing renderings for the future of the company. That doesn't mean that they have confirmation or inside sources from Tesla telling them exactly what the Cybertruck's going to look like, but at the same time I have to acknowledge that's not an impossibility. There's a chance that, you know, Tesla and SpaceX are kind of sharing internal documents or information between each other, and even though I have my doubts about how good the first generation Cybertruck range is going to be, having a dual rear wheel option would actually support the concept that the Cybertruck will be really good at towing and likely having a much higher payload capacity than any other electric truck. So it's exciting to see more official renderings and more official updates from SpaceX and Elon himself, but how did you guys interpret it? Do you think this is actually going to be an option that they sell directly from the factory? Do you think Tesla's going to sell these aftermarket accessories for off-roading or wider wheelbases or exoskeleton modifications and that kind of thing? All that good stuff. Let me know what you're thinking down in the comments below. Thank you to everyone on Patreon supporting this channel directly. Seriously, helps me out a ton, as does just watching these videos. So thanks again, take care, and have an excellent rest of your day.